what you find is if you continue to listen to that intuition, if you continue to listen to your big ideas, if you continue to ask the questions that you want to ask, do the thing that you want to do, you'll find a much happier life. Helping somebody who currently is who you used to be, that's the game. That's the juice. That'll fill you up for the rest of your life.
The world gets out of the way for the person who knows what they want. You need to get clear on what you want.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and our take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, have direction.
Get clear on what you want. What do you want? Make it super clear. You can't just want a better life. What does that look like? Get super clear on what it is that you are going after. Write it down. One sentence. Make it clear for yourself. Make it clear for the people around you. Make it clear for anybody who comes in contact with you. Say, hey, what do you want? This is what I want. I have absolute focus. And when people look at you and say, you're never going to do that, look at where you're coming from, that's okay, because you have direction. Right? The world gets out of the way for the person who knows what they want. You need to get clear on what you want. Get it down to one sentence.
Rule number 2, find your path.
My biggest fear is disappointing people. My biggest fear is I'm going to let people down. You're going to watch my thing, my video, my interview, and feel like it was a waste of your time. That Matthew would feel it's a waste of time, that you feel it's a waste of time. That's always my biggest fear, is that I'll still show up, but it's going to be a disappointment to people. And so my strategy used to be prepare. Prepare like crazy. That used to be my strategy, is always prepare, over prepare, have everything super prepared. And what ended up happening was a solid B interview, because I just asked the questions that were on my list. There was nothing risky, but it wasn't a great interview. You know, I was just asking typical questions. I didn't offend anybody, but it was never anything great. And so what I had to learn to adjust, and this is something that Dr. Tess helped a lot with, was figuring out, you know what? All I need to do is find the one angle. What's my one angle? What's the one path? What's the one series of questions that I want to ask? And then pull on that thread and trust that my curiosity will take over. So with Matthew, he wanted to promote his book. I didn't have enough time to read the book fully before I came in. I'm a super slow reader, and I got it shortly before the interview. I'm a visual learner. So what I did was I watched his other interviews. I went to the other interviews that he had talking about the book. And what I did was I thought, okay, what would I ask that's different from these guys? Or what's the question that they didn't ask as a follow-up? Like, ooh, that's a good line of thinking. What's the follow-up? Oh, I wish they asked that question. And I made a note of, this is the question I want to ask. And the thing that caught my attention the most was him talking about when he took his sabbatical from acting. It was kind of a forced sabbatical. He didn't want to do romantic comedies anymore, and ended up going 20 months without acting. And he considered going to other careers. In the job that he was looking at as other careers, they were, let's see if I can remember, there was a grade 4 teacher, there was a high school football coach, there was a musical conducting orchestra, there was being animal wilderness guide, and I think there was one more. And I asked him, these things, they all seem to have teaching in common. Whether they're teaching kids or adults, it's a wide range of different potentials, but they're all teaching. If you're a conductor, you're still teaching professionals. If you're the guide, you're teaching about the animals. Like, where does that thread come from? And he said, I never thought about that. And he didn't quite know how to answer that question. And at the very end of our interview, 20 minutes later, he thanked me for bringing that up. And he's going to go keep on thinking about this whole teaching angle and why that's in him and where it comes from.
I'm going to keep thinking about this common denominator of me wanting to be a teacher. Thank you.
That's a much better interview. It's asking a question that I don't know what the answer is going to be. And it's my genuine curiosity. And so there's always that line in between of the thing that you are preparing for and preparing for and preparing for to then give you the freedom to be open and curious. I do a lot of work with Tony Robbins' agency, his PR agency, and we brought a whole bunch of different people on my channel to do different interviews with. And one of the things that the head person there always says about me, which is super humbling, is just the curiosity and energy that I have to show up for the interviews. And it's shocking to hear that, because it's like, I never thought of myself as a great interviewer, but all I have to do when I'm preparing is find the angle. Like, why am I genuine and energetic? Because I actually care about this thing from them. I have to find their story and research them enough to know the angle that I want to use, to find the thread to pull on. And then I just let go and trust that I'm going to do a good job.
Rule number 3, be consistent.
Your success is habits. What you do on a regular basis is what you're going to accomplish. You can eat a chocolate bar and be on a diet and not get fat. But if you're eating a chocolate bar every day, you're going to get fat. You're not on a diet anymore. Similarly, if you eat salad once a week, it's not enough, right? You are what you consistently do. Your success comes from doing habits. And entrepreneurs are typically great starters, but not great at being consistent. And that's the problem. Working your face off for a 48-hour stretch isn't going to do anything for you. It's every single day working, even if it's only an hour a day. That dream that you have, that business that you wanted to start, that business that you want to take to the next level, it could be there. It could have been there already. It could have been there already. The problem is you've been sitting on that idea for 3 months, 6 months, 4 years without doing enough on it. Little tiny starts, it's not enough. Every day, I'm talking every single day, making progress towards you actually accomplishing that thing. You want that life? You have to do it every day.
Rule number 4, focus on service.
Focus on service will immediately reduce anxiety, reduce your stress, and reduce the lack of self-love that you're feeling. Okay, so that's service. Great, but how do I serve? Whom do I serve? Well, that comes back to your why. Your why is your purpose. Your purpose comes from your pain. The people who you'll love helping for the rest of your life are the people who currently are who you used to be. Think about who you used to be. Think about what you used to struggle with, the demons that you were fighting, the hole that you were in. You are much better now than who you used to be. Think about your most painful moment. Not physical pain of breaking, I broke my neck in 2 spots. That was my most physical pain. But not that, emotional pain. When did you feel the most worthless? When did you feel the most worthless as a human being? When was that for you? And then recognize that there are millions of people right now who are struggling with the same thing. They feel worthless. They feel the same worthlessness that you felt. They're struggling with the exact same thing that you struggled with. Right now, they're in the depths of it. You've come out. You're not where you want to be. You still got a lot of growth left. You still want to improve. You still want to do a lot more, but you're way better off compared to who you used to be. And sometimes it helps to just think about who you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or maybe you already know the moment in your life that was the worst for you. There are millions of people who are suffering with that same thing right now. Your path is to help them. Your path is to show them hope. Your path is to give them the strategies to get out. Because a lot of them, they're so low, they're so negative, they're so hopeless that they won't listen to an Evan Carmichael or Marie Forleo or Tony Robbins. Former you didn't want to listen to an Evan Carmichael? That guy, I don't want to listen to that guy. Motivational self-help BS. He doesn't understand me. But you know what? They'll listen to you. They'll listen to you because you are one of them. Because you know exactly what they're dealing with, exactly what they're going through, and exactly how to get out of it. because you tried a million different things. How many things did you try to get out of the hole that you were in? How many things? How many times did you try? How many times did you get up and fail and get back up and fail and then try a new thing that was supposed to be the answer and then fail, it didn't work again, and almost give up and almost give up and almost give up. And then you finally found something, one thing that maybe didn't even seem like a big thing, and it worked. Like, holy cow, this is working. I'm getting momentum. I'm starting to change and starting to see results. And now you're here. Congratulations. You made it. You are an impossibility, right? You being here is impossible to former you. You 10 years ago, look to where you are right now. It's like, that's not possible. I won't be there. I can't do that. It's an impossibility. But you did it. And so that's your job, is to go back and show all the people who currently are who you used to be that it is possible, that they can do it, that you're just like them, that you were them, that you might have struggled and suffered, struffled, is that a combination? Struggled and suffered is struffled? You struffled. Worse than them. And yet here you are. You made it. Helping somebody who currently is who you used to be, that's the game. That's the juice. That'll fill you up for the rest of your life.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, check out my 254 series, where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you an unlisted video. The science says it takes up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. So I'm going to be with you every step of the way. If you want to be on for free, 100% free, is a link below. Go check it out. I'll see you there. Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
What you do in the first 15 minutes of your day matters. Chart your start. Publishers do a little bit of work to help you. They try to line up a little bit of media and some of their contacts, but don't expect the publishers to do a lot. These days, it's really up to the author.
Rule number 5, find a worthy challenge.
One of my greatest fears right now, of all time actually, is disappointing people. I hate disappointing people. It's my greatest fear of all time. I don't want to disappoint people. The idea that I would get in front of a group and disappoint them is life-shattering to me. I hate that. I hate wasting people's time. And so I'm on this tour right now. I'm in San Francisco. I'm doing 23 cities over 90 days, and I'm scared. Because I'm scared I'm going to disappoint people. And it's not just one event. I get to get up every 4 days and potentially disappoint people again. Your heart goes boom, 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 boom. You have to do it. And now just the fact that I'm out doing it, regardless of if we have amazing results or not, just me doing it, just me trying it, makes me feel great about myself. And so you need to find the same thing for you. What is a challenge that is worthy of you? That if you got up and every day tried your best, you would eventually win at it. That you're not going to tie your self-respect to you crushing it immediately. If you get a victory right away, you should have started it 3 years ago. If you get up and you make a YouTube video and it's your first one and it's amazing, you actually suck. Like, you should have started that video 3 years ago. You're supposed to suck at the beginning. You always suck at the beginning. Any new skill that you want to learn, you're not going to be very good at it at the start. That's how it's supposed to work. But if you tie your self-respect, your self-worth, your self-love to you getting up and doing work every single day that makes you proud, that says, I am proud of myself today for the effort that I put in, I guarantee you, you will not just love yourself, you will produce amazing things for yourself, for your family, and for the world.
Rule number 6, just try.
For too many of us, myself included, we don't play enough. We don't have enough fun. We don't take the risk that's in our head. And one of the things that I'm constantly trying to work on is that idea to action. Right? That when I come up with an idea, I'm going to do something about it. And it's especially hard when other people are involved. It's especially hard in an interview. I'm sitting there talking to Matthew, asking him about his career. We spent an hour together, and we'll link up the video at the end of this video. And as ideas come to me, he constantly judged the question. Like, ooh, I don't know, should I ask that question? Should I ask that question or not? Is that a good question? Is he gonna be offended by the question? Should I keep pulling on this thread? Is that a good question to ask, or should I move on to the next topic? It's this constant kind of track going on in the back of my head. And what I've learned to do more and more and more and more is just trust the question. It came to you for a reason. It may not make sense, but trust the question. If the intention is good, right? The intention isn't to make him look bad or anybody else look bad, right? The intention is good. The intention is positive. This question came to me for a reason. Trust it. Do something on it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that holds people back is you get these ideas in the moment, like, what if I did this? And you don't trust it. And then it maybe disappears, or maybe you look back and say, I wish I did that. This is why I started my first business. I actually didn't think it was going to work out. When I was 19, I had to choose between making $300 a month and owning 30% in this company, or making 6 figures at what I thought was my dream job, banking and traveling around the world. I didn't think or know. I wasn't like, yes, this business is for sure going to work out. This business is for sure going to be my big exit. I'm going to make tons of money. It was more, I didn't want to regret not knowing that even if the most likely scenario was failure, I still had to know. And I would rather know and fail than not know. And what I've learned to do over the past 20 years, I guess, and still continue, I still, when I get a question in my head or an idea in my head, there's still a moment of hesitation. And that's what I'm constantly working on getting rid of. That idea to action, immediate, faster, 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 faster. That this idea came to me for a reason. That I have to at least try. That I have to at least take the first 2%, the 2% difference, right? Stop planning for 100% and just take action on the first 2%. That I have to try. That I have to at least get a taste of it. Instead of prejudging it, instead of telling myself that it's not going to work out. That as long as the intention is good, and the intention is to serve and to help, that I need to try. You can always back up from it, right? Like if I asked a question that offended him, I could always explain where it came from. I can always explain the intent. The worst case scenario isn't that bad. It's not that bad. You can almost always make it up to somebody. Versus the upside of actually doing it and it works out. And what you find is if you continue to listen to that intuition, if you continue to listen to your big ideas, if you continue to ask the questions that you want to ask, do the thing that you want to do, you'll find a much happier life. You'll find a much more impactful life, a much more purposeful life. And I think that's the life that you deserve.
Rule number 7, focus on your strength.
Let's look at social media. Great, pick one. Pick one. Just pick one and crush it. Whether it's Twitter or Instagram or YouTube, whatever you think has the best combination of what you're good at. So if you like making videos, YouTube's a great place to be. If you like writing, you can go on Twitter or Medium, right? Pick the one platform and then spend your time focused on that, because if I look at most of people's content, you look at your own content, look at what you're posting across these platforms. Are you proud of it? Would you follow you? Probably not for too many people. So stop wasting time posting mediocre garbage. And post quality in one spot and start to win there, and then leverage it, and then build a team, and then expand. Same thing with products and services and business lines. You can't do a great job servicing your customers, investing back to research and development, coming up with new ideas. You can't. Not if you're doing 18 businesses at the same time. I had a woman come out to my workshop when I was doing a tour, and this was her issue. She was in real estate and she was in network marketing and she was in 5 different business lines. She said, well, I need to diversify. Diversify what? You don't have anything yet. You're diversifying yourself out of a life, out of an income, out of a business. Where if you just had one super strong pillar that then won, you'll win. Now, the argument for diversification is, well, if one thing crumbles, you got something else. Great, but here's what people are missing. If YouTube crumbles, I'll take my skill set and go somewhere else. If my business crumbles, I'm still me. I'll take my skill set and move somewhere else. Look at Jake Paul and Logan Paul. They were on Vine. They crushed it on Vine. Top people on Vine. Vine closes down, right? Almost overnight, closes down. Great, they have a skill set. They come to YouTube and blow up and get millions of subscribers. If YouTube goes away, for me, my skill set is applicable to wherever people are going to watch video content next. If your business goes away, the skill set you've learned will go somewhere else. You haven't lost, you haven't forgotten how to do your thing. Diversification is only important when you don't know what you're doing. That's why it's a great investment strategy.
Rule number 8, model success.
The fastest path for you to get the success you're after is to model success. The idea here is simple. You find people who have already done the thing that you want to do, learn from them, understand what they did to get there, and then try on their hat, right? See what worked for them and apply it to your business. This is what worked for me. This is what saved my company. Bill Gates saved my first company, even though I've never met him. I haven't yet. We're gonna make it happen, hopefully soon. I was struggling. I had a upstart software company that wasn't making money, and I quit on my business partner, and I woke up the next day and said, I need to find a way to make this happen. I can't quit on this too soon because I'm going to regret it if I don't keep going. And so I said, who has done this before? Who's done this? And I thought of Bill Gates. It was just the first person that came to mind was Bill Gates. So I looked at his story and how did he build Microsoft? Well, it was through partnerships. And so I started making partnerships in my business. I had nothing else to lose. I was already at rock bottom, right? I had already quit on my partner. It was hopeless. So let's just give this a shot. And within, I don't know, a couple months, maybe even sooner, I landed my first partnership deal for $13,500. And at the time, guys, I was making $300 a month. So that money meant the world to me. Like that was bank. And more important than that, it gave me hope, like this could happen. This business could actually work. And it gave me a model to then go and do it again and again and again. And ever since then, whenever I don't know what to do, I model success. I find someone who's done it and I try to apply their strategies and make it work for me. But this is the important thing. Not every strategy is going to work the same way for them as it did for you. So maybe waking up early is your ticket. Maybe waking up later is going to be your ticket. There's people who've done both. Which is the one that's going to work for you? You won't know by sitting on the couch and thinking about it. The best thing you can do is just go and try. You try on their hat, right? Bill Gates did this. Dan Lok does this. Bruce Lee does this. Awesome. Try it.
Rule number 9, shift your perspective.
If you're doing something big, you're going to get haters. If you're doing something that nobody has done before, that is game-changing, that is breaking the status quo, you're going to have people who want to hold on to the past, want to hold on to their way of thinking. They don't want to see other people become successful, and so they're going to hate on you. The more you're off being bold and trying to do something different, creative, new, could be on a global level, or could just be doing something that's not normal in your family, right? Then you're going to have haters. You're going to have the people who are against it because they stand for the status quo. The more you stand for something big, you understand that you stand against something else. And the people who like that stuff, even if it's a negative way of life, they're going to fight for it. And they're going to see you as the enemy and attack you. What's the alternative? The alternative is to live such a small life, to never take any risks, to only do what everybody else tells you to do, to never have a life of your own so that you don't risk offending everybody. That's a pretty crappy life. And it's not that you're out there intentionally trying to hurt people. It's not saying, look at me and how great I am and you suck, right? It's not putting that kind of vibe out. But just by you being you and trying to do something big and bold is going to upset people, not because they actually hate you, it's because they hate something within themselves. I look at my message, believe, it's powerful, it's positive, it's uplifting. How do you hate on believe? How do you hate on somebody who's encouraging people to untap their potential, right? But people do. I think it takes some getting used to. And I think the more you are out there, the more content you're creating, the bigger your company grows and the bigger that you get and the more of an audience that you build up of customers or people following you, then the more you're going to be seen as a target for a certain select group of people. And I used to, in the early days of me having my YouTube channel, I used to take it personally. I used to be really upset when somebody left a negative comment. I used to only see that one negative comment and ignore the 99 positive ones. I used to try to fight with that person and explain myself or try to change them and try to bring them around. And in that process, sometimes it worked. Sometimes I was able to explain my perspective and bring them around to my point of view, or at least get some kind of common ground. And sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I couldn't change them. The thing is, it just takes so much time and effort. Like, is it worth spending all that time on that one person that you're trying to make a positive impact with and maybe shift them a little bit, versus investing that time into the 99 other people who love you, who care about you, who are really consuming that you can go a lot further with? And it sounds crass and it sounds really terrible to say don't spend time on those people, ignore them. But the fact is, they steal so much of your energy, and it's always an opportunity cost. Like that time spent, if I can help 20 people achieve amazing results, or try to help one person achieve subpar results that's just a little bit better than what they were getting before, what's the best use of my time? And so that was one thing that really helped me shift away from trying to fight with them, from trying to change them, and just leave them there, leave those comments up. But it still hurt, right? Like, it still hurt. Like, it stings, that comment. The thing that really shifted it forward for me of not caring, of putting things in perspective, was me trying to put myself in their shoes. Imagine somebody who's gets off by going to a YouTube channel or going to a customer site or going to an e-commerce site or whatever it is and leaving a negative comment, leaving like a hateful negative comment. Not a constructive criticism, not a, Evan, your hoodie is off today, get the lint roller or something, right? Like constructive criticism, just nasty hate stuff. What would motivate somebody to do that? Like, imagine that this is how they get off. This is how they are happy. Like, how crappy a life do you have to have that this is the thing that makes you come alive and feel happy? And just by shifting that perspective, now when I see a negative comment like that, it honestly just makes me feel sorry for that person. That this is the only way they get attention. This is the best part of their day. This is the highlight, is being able to come and leave hate comments. Their entire life must really suck. And that shift allows me not to care.
Rule number 10, the last one before our very special bonus clip: stop living in the past.
I live 85% in the present, in the moment, 15% in the future, and 0% in the past. 85% in the present, in the moment, 0% in the past, and 15% in the future. I think it's really important. I think most people's perspectives are messed up. I think most people live in flux between in the past and in the future, and very little time in the present. Think about it. Think about what you're doing today. What am I doing right now? I'm filming this video for you guys. What am I focused on? You guys. What am I doing next? I have no idea. Where did I just come from? No idea. I'm here. I'm here, focused on you, helping make content for you, and hopefully spreading a message that means something today as part of your morning routine. Hey, happy morning. Good morning. Good to be here. Most people are stuck in the past, and you're reliving yesterday and last week and last year and the last decade, thinking about all the mistakes you've made and everything that you did wrong and why you're not good enough and what you would do to go back and tell yourself to do the different, and how you missed some big opportunity and how everything is your parents' fault. How does that serve you? I mean, awareness is great. Even in my book, Built to Serve, we go through the who, I, how process, figuring out who you are, right? Your why, your purpose, which comes from your pain, and then how you got out of it, serves as tools to help you move forward. But it's living in the past just to get the awareness to make better decisions in the present and the future, not just living in the past to live there in the past and sulk and be depressed. People who live in the past are usually upset. They're angry. They're unhappy. They're depressed because life used to be so good and now life sucks. I want to spend zero time living in the past. Did I make mistakes? Sure. Did I learn from them? Yeah. Can I go back and change yesterday? Nope. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to think about it. Stop thinking about it. Let's talk about living in the future. Living in the future depends on the source, depends on if it's coming from a good place or a bad place. Most people who are living in the future are doing it from a place of insecurity. What if it doesn't work out? What if I don't make it? All the things that could go wrong, and trying to plan the perfect plan. And so you're a perfectionist because you're worried about people's opinion of what you're going to say, what you're going to do. You're worried that people will see it and judge you. You're worried that people won't see it and that you're not good enough. It's just constantly living in this future fear that maybe happens, maybe doesn't happen, but it prevents action. The more you're living in future fear, it prevents current action. Where it's healthy is to think about what you could build, the possibility, what you want to make, what you want to create.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. That's not enough. But when you write down what time, what place, and how you're going to actually take action on it, you jump to 91% chance of following through. And when you have public accountability and you commit to other people that you're going to do it, it jumps to 95% that you will follow through. So I want that for you, Believe Nation. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
You need to create CEO time. CEO time means you're working on being the CEO of your business and your life. The CEO, that big goal that you set in step number 1, that demands a CEO. If you want that goal to happen, you need to step up and be the CEO of architecting that goal into existence. And so you need to have CEO time somewhere in your calendar. You need to pull out your calendar, however you're using it, if it's Google Calendars or Notebook or whatever you're using, and every week there needs to be a chunk of time, a window of CEO time. And in that time, you're going to be spending your absolute focus on driving that number one goal into fruition, creating it into existence. So when is that going to happen for you? Pull out your calendar and make it happen. If you're only spending half an hour a week on CEO time, well, your goal is going to come to you very slowly. Most of the world wakes up and has zero CEO time. You're just in reaction complaining mode. So half an hour is better than nothing. But can you spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, more? CEO time. Not reacting to people, not getting distracted, not working on projects that other people want you to work on. Every week, put into your calendar right now, block it off, put gates around it so people don't trample all over your time. You got to protect it. Because if you're not spending time on CEO time every week, you're not building the life that you want.
If you want to watch 50 more rules of my husband, Evan Carmichael, watch the video next to me. I think you're going to enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Purpose is not passion. They're related, but they're not the same thing. Passion is also not that hard to figure out. Neither is purpose. People just have not been given the right tools.